Clay is launching the ability to share your Clay tables with other people very soon, either publicly or privately. And so as an act of celebration, I decided I would create a shared table that uses intent data to close prospects based on a job they're hiring. So without further ado, I will walk you through building out this table, how I did it, and of course, share you that table link in the description below. First thing I did when I created this table was I went to the new table section in Clay, and then I just went to find jobs from LinkedIn. From there, you can put whatever job titles you like. For this case, I did head of sales, CSO, and then you can put the job description, keywords in here, location, job type, recruiter, etc. In my case in particular, I found CSO, head of sales, chief sales officer, BDRs or SDRs in New York, and it imported a bunch of companies hiring for major sales positions. They gave me some information off the bat, such as company name, the job title, the location, their company domain, and the job LinkedIn URL. And also, of course, the day the job was posted. However, they don't give you the actual company's LinkedIn URL. What I did next was I performed a Google search integration. And all I did was I put in the company's domain, and then I just typed in LinkedIn as a Google search query. So I was able to find the link and pop it out. If you go into the search results and you click this and you go to the first one, you'll see that it was able to find our LinkedIn link very accurately. Once I map that link out, I then use our enrich company integration, which allows you to find a ton of different data points on a company just using their LinkedIn URL. So all you have to do that is go to enrich data and type in enrich company right here, just threw that URL in and popped out a ton of information for us. Some of that really valuable information is where they're located, their description, and how many employees they have. The thing that we needed in particular was their company description, because it allowed us to figure out what the company does and use that in OpenAI integrations. The next step that I wanted is to find out why my service could possibly help this company solve a problem. I essentially decided for this example that I would be a fractional sales executive, pretty much lessening the company's upfront cost and hiring a full-time executive and allowing them to get somebody really experienced for cheaper within their company. This could be especially helpful for startups that don't have the money to be spending on a full-time sales employee. What I decided to do was in OpenAI, tell me how a company name who is currently hiring for a job title position could benefit from hiring a fractional sales agency. Use the company's description to help make this determination, and here is their description. And if you see here, it pops out essentially an essay as to why hiring a fractional sales agency could be a better idea than hiring internally. And you might think this is a lot to read for each one of these prospects, and I completely agree, but you'll see why we needed this in just a second. I then decided to look for people at the company who would be likely to respond to an email like this. So I use our integration called Find Contacts at Company, and it finds people on LinkedIn who work for that company that fit a couple of different job title keywords or other constraints. In this case, all I did was put sales, GTM, marketing, or head of operations, which were 4 categories that I felt would be very likely to be susceptible to an email such as this. You can see here, we're able to return ourselves quite a few profiles. So for some companies, it was just 1, for some it was 3, for some it was 7, for some it found 10 people who were able to fit that job title description. So the next step is figuring out which one of these people is the best to reach out to. We have 10 profiles in some cases. We don't want to reach out to all of them, and most of them probably aren't even worth getting reached out to. A lot of them probably aren't on the executive level. Some of them might not be decision makers. They might just not be the first line of defense when getting a fractional sales agency hired. So we want to get rid of them. So how do we do that? We use another OpenAI integration. Given this list of people, tell me the person most likely to respond positively to an email regarding a fractional head of sales service for a company name. Print out just a name and title and LinkedIn URL in the format name, title, LinkedIn URL, nothing else. And then I put a list of every single name, title, and URL block that was found in this integration into here. After that, I ran it, and you can see here, it was able to pretty consistently pop out all of the information that we were looking for all of these companies. From there, I was able to use a formula to extract just their name. All I had to do for this was say, take the characters before the first comma in the targeted executive's response. Then I took out just their first name and then the prospect's LinkedIn finally. So now that we have their LinkedIn profile, we can actually find the person that we're trying to reach out to here. All I had to do is plug in their LinkedIn profile and enrich them, and we were able to find a ton of information on the specific person we're planning on contacting. So now we have a problem identified. We have a job title that they're trying to hire for, and we found the executive that we're likely to be able to change their mind for our fractional head of sales service. And lastly, we were able to find a ton of reasons why our service would be better for this specific company. So what I want to do is write the first little blurb of an email to serve as an intro personalization when sending to these people. In this example, I said, company name is currently hiring for a job title. I'm reaching out to this person. They're trying to convince them to sign my fractional head of sales agency instead of a full-time job title. I'm going to give you a sentence to complete and then some additional information surrounding why we could solve their problem easier. Keep the whole thing under 35 words. Print the entire thing starting with, hey, first name. Here is the blurb. Hey, first name, notice that you're hiring for a job title. Figured that, complete the sentence here. Have you ever thought about hiring a fractional sales agency? Here's some info that might help form the sentence. And then here we actually feed all of the information we found in our problem identification identification response. And this allows us to provide a ton of context as to why we would be beneficial for this company, thus forming a very highly personalized and highly relevant email that serves a ton of value to the person reading it, unlike a lot of stupid personalizations that people put into their emails. All right, so now that we have all of this information that we have found in this flow just based off a job title, we can now find the emails for the person that we are planning on reaching out to. All we have to do that is click add column, go to add enrichment, and type in work email, and we'll have this waterfall pop up. All that is required is to throw in the person's name, which we have right here, and the company's domain, which we also already have, and we will just start running these rows and see how many emails we get. All right, so as you can see here, we have found emails for a majority of the people in our list here, and we can now reach out to them with that first line email and try to target them based on the intent of hiring for a position. I will leave the table link in the description of this video so you can use it as you please. If you want to try Clay, there's also a link in the description down there to make a shared table for yourself. Happy prospecting.